Alright guys, welcome back to the Sawmill. If you're new to this channel, this is Mr. KATO. Let me introduce you real fast. That's my 62 horsepower. It's got a Kubota engine, compact track loader. The model number is the CL35. I bought this earlier this year. I should have bought it years ago. A really good machine right there. I use it every day here at the Sawmill. I got a grapple on it today because we're going to be sorting some logs. Now this pile right here, if you're wondering where we're at, we're down here right beside the timber frame. This is red cedar. I got these about 2 years ago from a land clearing job that a logger was doing. He wasn't logging timber, he was only clearing land for a homeowner. And this cedar right here has been down here way too long. I should have done this probably a month or two after they got dropped off. But it is what it is, and we're going to fool with it today. We need to pull these out, take a look at them, cut them to length. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of them that have a lot of taper in them. See that log right there on the top? You got decent size right here, and then about the 10-foot mark it really goes down to too small for a saw log. But that will make a good fence post, so we'll get something out of that even though it's too small to put on the mill. There's a decent amount of wood right here. I would say maybe 500 or 600 board feet of cedar. We do have a lot of wood chips down here to contend with. All the wood chips that come out of the motor blow down to this area right here. I need to build me some kind of bin to have those go into. It makes kind of a mess down here. But we're going to get in the track loader and start pulling these out and hopefully find some good saw logs. You guys hang in there. Alright friends, it looks like some of these logs are going to have to be trimmed down to size before I pull them out of here. I'm working with a very small window of available space to pull them out. We got the kiln right here, and of course the timber frame and the power going in the building. And that space is only about maybe 25 foot wide. And this cedar log is probably 40 feet long. So I'm going to trim these down with the chainsaw before we pull them out of here. I can't snake this one out. Not a bad log, but kind of small on this end. I'm going to cut this one at 8 foot. That way we get a fence post out of it. Then the rest of it, we'll deal with it later on. I'm staging all the logs way over there so we can measure them up and cut them to length. And while I got the chainsaw out, I'll go ahead and trim these down as well. Those right there are also fence post logs. Actually, that one right there behind it is too small for a fence post. I'll probably just throw it in the burn pit. And underneath this mess, I have about a year's worth of wood chips that came out of the molder. Most of this is pine with a little bit of cedar and poplar. There's no walnut in here. So that means I can get the bucket on Mr. KATO and come down here and scoop this stuff up and take it straight to the compost pile. That's a good find right there. I didn't realize there was that many shavings, or wood chips rather, under this pile. As I walk through here, it's about a foot deep right there. I need to come up with a better system. I'm thinking maybe put my dump trailer down here so when the wood chips come out of that chute, they go down the dump trailer. But I don't know. I may do something different. I'll have to think on that later. Now something else I'm going to do down here, guys, is dig that bank back right there. The property line is way up there on the other side of that light pole. I can go back another 10 feet maybe before I have to worry about erosion getting bad on that hill. And that will make a big area down here to put a firewood shed, and more importantly, the log splitter, so I can leave it down here all the time for when I'm splitting firewood. We'll have another short delay here in just a minute, guys. Dad is on his way over here. He needs a board 9 inches wide and 4/4 on the thickness. Has to be kiln dried because he's putting up some shelves in his house today. I think I've got some poplar in there. So as soon as he arrives, we'll go in the shop, run that through the molder, and then we'll get back on this job right here. But until he gets here, let's move some more logs. You guys hang in there. That's something I've been meaning to do now for the past few months. I kept on putting it off. I had about 19 logs in there. That's pretty good. That's more than I thought I had. We're at this first pile right here. I left myself some room right there between both of them to work out of, because some of these will get cut down to 2 and maybe even 3 logs. Some of them are right at 24 foot in length. But some decent cedar. Most of them are about 10 to 12 inches on the diameter. And they appear to be nice and solid in the middle. That's hard to find in cedar nowadays. A lot of your cedar will have a lot of rot right there in the middle. These appear to be pretty solid, so that's good. So like I was saying before, I'll come in here with the bucket and scoop up all these wood chips and all these shavings and take that to the compost pile. A lot of good stuff in here. But right here's the home that we disturbed. And more than likely, I would say at some point, we had a groundhog living in there. Now up at the mill, we got about a dozen cedar logs that are already 8-footers, and I just got an order yesterday for 200 board foot. So we're gonna head up there with Mr. KATO, throw a few cedars on the mill and start working on that order. What time is it? It's about 4 o'clock. I think I can get that order pretty much done here before it gets dark. You guys hang in there. All right, friends, we're cutting red cedar today, or juniper, for those of you that get annoyed when I call it cedar. I've got a list here. I need to cut 4. Now all these boards are 6/4. If you're new to this channel, that's 1.5 inches on the thickness. We need to cut 4 by 8 by 8, so 8 inches wide. 10 6 inches wide. These are all 8-footers. And 2 4 inches wide. It looks like he's done the math already. He's saying that's right at around 200 board feet, or 100 board foot rather. I looked at the wrong line right there. So shouldn't take long to cut that. I don't think I'll get it all cut today because, not that it's a big order, but we have a birthday party to go to here in about 1.5 hours. So I need to take a shower and do all that stuff. So anyway, so we'll at least get a good start on this and we'll finish it tomorrow. These are all 8-footers. This cedar came from a local farmer just down the road. He was doing some land clearing and I bought them off of him. If you want to know how much this stuff costs, go join Patreon. I discussed that on Patreon, how much the logs cost me. That's my little pitch for Patreon for the day. And also, just a friendly reminder, we got in our hoodies and our zip-up sweatshirts over at the Farm Focus website. There's a link down below. Got some new designs over there as well. I also have a new t-shirt coming out, hopefully before Christmas. I think you guys will really like it, hopefully before Christmas. Now on the mill, we got a Joe Maine Silvertip Turbo 7. If you want those blades, call Joe. Cell phone numbers in the video description. And guys, that blade has been on the mill for quite some time. It needs to be taken off, but I think I can probably get through both of these cedars with it. Cedars saw up really good on a sawmill as long as you don't hit any metal. There's usually not a lot of issues with cedar because they are kind of small, and there's not a lot of pitch that gets up on your blade like there is with pine. So cedar is really good saw, or really good log to saw rather. I cut my teeth on cedar when I first started sawing back in 2010. I think cedar is probably the most dominant species that I sawed for the first year or two because I had a lot of orders for 1-inch boards for woodworkers down in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. I made a lot of money back in the day sawing 1-inch boards for those guys. They would take the 1-inch cedar boards, they would air dry them, and then they would build these little, I guess you would call them keepsake boxes, and they would build hundreds of them and take them down to Gatlinburg and sell them in all the little knitting at shops. So that's how I cut my teeth on sawmilling. I guess back in the day, a lot of red cedar. I got really good at sawing cedar. So anyways, let's open this one up, see what it looks like. It should be a nice log. Man, it's a nice day today. It is November the 4th and it's 65 degrees. Perfect sawmill weather.